Hey guys, Josh here with Real Dead. And, I've been a horror fan since I've been a kid. I've always liked, like back then, my parents didn't really allow me to rent horror movies at the video store or Blockbuster. Because if they were rated R, I couldn't rent them. But that doesn't mean I couldn't watch them if they were on TV. So, like TNT's Monster Vision or AMC's, monster thing that they had, and then just other times you just find on USA Network or something like that. You'd find, because we grew up watching Chucky a ton on USA Network, Chucky 2 to be exact. And Friday the 13th 2, I remember, was on AMC all the time. That's why sometimes I have a fonder memory of these sequels than the originals, because the originals usually weren't on. It was the sequels that were on. They might be inferior, they might not be, but they were on more. So I kind of want to talk about something that really influenced me with horror when I was in, I'd say, elementary school, but also in junior high, a little bit, maybe sixth grade actually. And that is horror books. And we had this author that I remember a lot of kids that were reading in 5th and 6th grade, maybe 7th, I can't remember, but definitely 5th and 6th grade, and that is Christopher Pike books. I go to garage sales and Goodwills, and I do find these books occasionally, so I do pick them up and collect them. This is actually the only Christopher Pike book that I have, and it's called Die Softly. He took a picture of death. So it's the thing that always really drew me in is the covers of these books, man. I just love the covers of these books for whatever reason. I think they're cheesy, but they're awesome. And one that really, Christopher Pike, I definitely remember, but the one, of course, that I super remember is Fear Street by R.L. Stine. So we're coming into a time where Goosebumps were kind of 90, we're more towards the end of 3rd grade, but mostly 4th and 5th graders did Goosebumps. So the more edgy 5th graders and 6th graders, and some 7th graders, we liked Fear Street because it was a little bit for an older kids. It's not like Goosebumps. I have awesome memories of Goosebumps, and I do have a small collection of Goosebumps books because those covers were also awesome. But Fear Street, I found these at garage sales and Goodwill, so I went ahead and picked them up from my collection, and we got R.L. Stine, who was a huge name in horror for youth back in the 90s. And this one's called The Best Friend. I mean, look at that cover. It's like Christmas, and you got a freaking knife in your present, man. So, yeah, that one's cool. This one was really creepy to me when I was a kid, and it's called College Weekend. Oh, let me read what this says on here. They always said a little thing on the front, which I really always liked. Sometimes friendship can be murder. I always liked that stuff. And this one's called College Weekend. There we go. Fear Street. And it says, she was just dying to visit her boyfriend. And then you have this creepy McCreepster in a window staring at this lonely, innocent girl on a bench. The next one is Secret Admirer. Someone loves her to death. I'm your number one fan. So another creeper. As you can see, this one was at a library, probably a school library or something. But yeah, that one is also creepy because these guys are just stalkers. This seems like all stalkers. This one always was really cool. I remember this was always on a friend of mine's desk, and I always loved looking at just the cover. I mean, and it's the Snowman, a cold-blooded killer, and the snowman's decapitated. And I always loved it because R.L. Stine books always had the pop-up wording. And now this is one that I personally had in 6th grade. So I definitely had this in 6th grade. That would have been 96. So this one's called Bad, and I was a huge fan of werewolves. So Bad Moonlight. Nighttime is the right time for terror, it says. And I personally had this one, and this one's actually called a Super Chiller, R.L. Stine. So I had that one in 6th grade. And I also remember there was like this little collage area that each day a kid, or once a week, one kid from the class got to put a bunch of stuff that they like in this collage, and it was at the by the door of the class, and so people walking by the class could see some stuff that is from you. And I remember I put this book in that collage, and so I wonder if anybody were like, oh well, yeah. So, but yeah, Bad Moonlight. So loved it. And those are the books, man. My collection so far, just from hitting Goodwills and garage sales up. So, paid little or nothing for every single of those books, and I'm glad I have them. Do you remember R.L. Stine's Fear Street book series? Do you remember Goosebumps? Do you remember Christopher Pike books in the 90s? Let me know below, and like, comment, subscribe, and we will talk to you guys later. Bye.